month. I'm Mari Black, and happy March. This month I have for you a wonderful, dinky, joyful, cutesy, super dorky Irish polka by popular request. It's called the Kool-Aid. This is a Gaelic name, so if you try to Google the name or look it up, it's going to look like, oh gosh, English pronunciation, it's going to look like it says the Cuil Aodha, but in fact, that's not how it's said. It's a little town in County Cork in Ireland, and we say the Kool-Aid. So here it is. I love to play this with my band at the end of polka sets where we do, big, cool, and serious polkas. Well, relatively serious as they get. And then we throw this little guy on the end, and it is so much fun. Let's do it. The Kool-Aid. And that's the tune. If you're just listening, thanks for stopping by. And if you're ready to learn it, we've been at this a while, you know what to do. Let's dive in. Okay, so this tune is in A major, 3 sharps, F, C, and G sharps are all present. And as you probably already heard if you were listening with some analytical, gee, I'm about to learn this tune of the month ears, it's a really simple structure. The melody itself has got almost nothing to it, which means it's a wide open playground for us to play around with it using some polka devices, and we will get right into that. But first, let's just get the basic melody down. I'm going to take out all the extra stuff and just play it a little bit slowly, the A section. Here we go. See if you can sound it out with me as we go. A major, 2, 3, Part 1. Part 2. Back to part 1. Ending. Yeah, so you can hear it just follows that standard fiddle tune form that we've seen time and time again here on Tune of the Month. Within the section, there's part 1, the little statement. Part 2 answers it. Part 1 comes back, and then we have a little ending. All right, so you could just rewind the video and learn it from me right like that by ear off of the internet without me yakking at you at all. That would be awesome. That's the goal. But in case it helps you break it down a little bit, let's do that. So here's part 1. We're in the key of A major, and all this is doing is arpeggiating through an A major chord. With one little passing tone. Right here's the root, 3rd, jump down to the 5th, passing. Right. Now, of course, these 8th notes in polka land are going to be offbeat heavy. So we want, instead of, let's say very polka-esque, we want, I'm not really accenting the upbeat, I'm just giving it a little bit of a nudge, just a little friendly elbow. And on stringed instruments, it means that we're going to push the up bows. Chill, push, chill, push, chill, push, chill. Try it. Chill, push, chill, push. And then when I have any rhythm that isn't 8th notes, then I can do the downbeat, like at the end there. So chill, push, land it here. Try it with me. Chill, push, land it here. One more. Nice. Pa, da, pa, da. It's so cute, right? If you want any more repetitions on that, just go ahead and rewind the video, or you can pause and practice. That works too. Oh, the magic of the internet. Let's go on to part 2. We've just finished. 1 pickup is an up bow push. I'll do it again. 1 pickup, push up bow. Okay, so we get our first quad, our first set of 16th notes here. So eighths are first. And that's just a little descending A major thing. It's the fifth, and then hot cross buns. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. Here's the 16th note. So 16 notes, we're going to land the downbeat. And then the 2 8th notes that follow go back to push, the offbeat. Make sense? Here, let's do all of part 2. 1 pickup pushes up bow. Push, push, push. Quad. Push, land. Yeah, again. One more. Nice. We're back to part 1. Do you remember it? A major arpeggio. Oh, it's so easy. Do it one more time. And all we need is an ending. It starts the same way as part 2. And it just never goes to the quad. It never does anything exciting. Poor ending. Do you hear they're all push 8s? Push, 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 1. One more ending. You got it. Any of those parts you want to practice, rewind the video or pause and do it yourself. And now let's put together 2 A's. Ready? 2, 3, and part 2. 16th. Nice. Repeat part 1. Part 2. Back to part 1. Ending. It is that simple. So cute. Okay, so you feel that what makes this cool, right, is the push-up bows, that polka feel. Pa, pa, pa. Now, we've worked on this in past polkas of Tune of the Month, and maybe you've done it out in the rest of the world, the rest of your life. It's a very specific feel. Once you get it, it's so much fun to play. Chill, push, chill, push, chill, push. It's not accented. It exists right in that wonderful gray space between accenting something too harsh, too serious, and having no inflection at all. The pa inflection is what makes dorky polkas cool as opposed to annoying, to me. I love a dorky polka. I love a dorky tune. We all know this on Tune of the Month. Okay, so that's the thing to work on. The melody is very simple, but getting the coordination on your instrument of how you're going to make that little nudge on the offbeats happen, and then change to the groups that aren't 8th notes, that's a downbeat feel, right? Pa, ya, da, da. That's the art of the polka. Shortest version of that story, isn't it? All right, so we've done the A section. Let's get the B, and then we'll start to decorate this sucker. Here's the B section slowly. I'll play it through twice. See if you hear anything familiar. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Part 1. Part 2. Heads up. There it is. It's so simple. And did you hear on the repeat? Instead of doing the second half of the B section, we go back and tag the second half of the A section, a half A tag, which we've done also in other tunes on this series, but we'll get there in a moment. First, we need a complete B. Okay, I gotta say this B part 1 has gotta be one of my favorite part 1s anywhere. I love a dorky. This is so dorky, it makes all the other dorkies look normal and boring. It's just these little broken thirds. It's like a little cuckoo clock or something. That's it. So it's your A major chord starting on the 3rd, right? 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th, and And then, oh, it's so good, up to the top root. Try it again. It's the same rhythm as the A section, right? Push, push, land your bow. One more and that's all we need. Great. The part 2 is kind of frighteningly like the part 2 of the A section, isn't it? The only thing that changes is the end, right? So we get back up. Our 16th notes. Do it again. Oh, sorry, my fault. And we're back to part 1, the dinky broken thirds. And the ending we already know. Wow! Repeat. Part 2. Now instead of going back up, go back to the end of the A section. That's it. So the half A tag at the end, if you already know the A section, then it's easy, it's good. Yeah. And really all we have to learn, all that's truly different is the part 1. And that's that do 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 dum. There's nothing to learn, is there? But it sounds so fun and different and interesting. How do tunes do this? I always am fascinated by simple tunes that sound like they're doing all this stuff, and they're just not. It's really cool. Let's put 2 whole Bs together. Think roadmap, so you don't miss that A tag at the end. Ready? 2, 1, and 2, and... Back to part 1. Ending. Get ready. Here comes A tag. There it is. Well done. For more repetitions, just rewind the video. All right. So we've got a wonderful, simple little polka melody going on here. How do you make it more fun and, you know, more boisterous and start to play with it? So we have a couple of options. The first is to just start adding some drone double stops. We've done a lot of these in very recent Tune of the Months for string players. Whenever you have a tune that's nicely like arpeggiated through a key, you can just drone the next door open string that belongs to the same chord, right? So... So you heard I started picking up more little double stops as we went. Now, it's not indiscriminately that I'm doing that. I was actually adding the drone open strings only on the push up bows. Did you hear that? So that way it's not all so heavy. Right? So my extra neighbor open string is the higher string every time here because I'm in A major. Oompa feel, right? When I'm doing this artistically, this is an artistic use of drones here. At least I hope so. And all I'm doing, string players, is it's my arm level, right? When I change my arm level, when I lean a little bit towards the higher string, I'm going to pick up that higher string on the up bow. And then on the down bow, I release my arm level so I don't hit the top string. So I'm doing this like tiny little pump action in my arm level. It's so subtle you probably can't even see it very well, but I feel it that I'm leaning in for the double stop and then releasing for the downbeat. Lean, release, lean, release, lean, release. So it's not a chicken dance thing. It's my whole arm weight crossing so that way my bow picks up the other string. Let's try it. Do 2 whole A's and just experiment with this. If you've never done it before, it's a little bit of a weird feel. It takes a couple tries to start to get it, but let's give it a shot. 2, 3, and... Not bad. Try it again. Lean, release. Lean, release. Not bad. So if you go back and listen to my opening playthrough of this tune at tempo, it sounds like I'm droning through the whole thing because the open string is so resonant, it rings through. It continues to ring even after my arm releases it. So it sounds like I'm playing the double stop the whole time, but you also feel that it's light and airy. And the reason I'm getting that lightness and that really exaggerated oompa oompa feel is because I'm releasing. If I don't release, listen to what it sounds like. I'll just do a bar because it's awful. It's just too heavy, isn't it? As opposed to... And it's so funny because it sounds like they're both double stopped through the entire time, but one's kind of heavy and beginnerish and the other is more advanced. And it has to do with how I'm using that double stop. All right. So there's an idea that like we just spent 2 minutes on it or however many minutes YouTube says we did. But it's months and weeks of practicing and getting that really finessed. But this is a huge upgrade in your playing, knowing when to release drone double stops and let the sound ring, but you aren't actually playing them, so it's not so heavy. That's a little tidbit for you. It's like a Pandora's box of working on your instrument for double stops, but it works great for this tune and so many others. Okay, but back to the Cuil, other places, other things that we can do to make the cutesy dorkiness come through even more. And one of my favorite things to do is to mess with putting in more 16th notes, more of those quads, right? Those groups of 4. All right, so we've done this in past tunes of the month that are polkas. So hopefully you have that idea in mind, but let's look at what it would look like here. Where I like to put them, the extra 16th notes, is in the part 2s and the ending that already are going 16th. There's already that one group, right? So I like to say, well, if just one, why not 2? Yeah, so do you see what I did there? So all I did, I said, I want to go up to the A. Rather than, I went up here. And then I kind of wanted that falling feel, so I did a scale. And then I want the right chord, so I'm going to go here. Now that's the fun one because I don't have room. I don't have enough 16ths. I'd end on the wrong chord, so I have to skip a note. And the note I chose to skip was the D. So there's a little bit of math that I do. Well, it's not totally math. It's guts and counting to figure out what note do I have to land on. And the case here is that I have to land on the A, on the root at the end. Root. I have to get back to that A. So usually when you're doing this in polkas, because the scale has 7 notes in it, right, from if you don't double the root, and you usually want to land on the root, you have 7 notes to fit in a group of, if you do back to back, there are 8 16th notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you figure out how can you dole out those instances using 7 pitches so that you land in the right spot at the right time. Does that make sense? That's how I think about it in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, root. So how did I come up with that lick? I just messed around with a bunch of different shapes. That felt a little too bottom heavy. That D sounds a little weird. It's not the right chord. and I fuss with it that way. You can fuss with it any way you like because these are putting in extra decorative things. There's no correct way to do it. Any figuration that you find that works could be great. I've heard arpeggio things. That's cute. I had to think about it. So there are so many different ways. How could you fall from the high A to the low A in 4/16 notes? Two groups of 4/16 notes. Yakataka, land. Yakataka, land. So it's a little game of controlled improvisation. And you can either borrow my group, because I already did it, or you can go in there and figure out your own. Let's try it. Beginning of the A section. 2, 3, Here it comes. Try it again, repeat. Here it comes. Try one more for fun. What else could you do? One more. What else could you do? So we just cycled through 4 A sections. Each time I played a slightly different figuration for that double quad, that thing that we're adding in. I liked some of them better than others, quite honestly. And you probably made up some stuff even that I didn't come up with, and you might have liked some better than others. So the trick is to keep track of which ones you like the sound of the best, and then figure out what you did so it can become a part of your personal arrangement of the tune. It becomes your signature lick. This guy, that's a signature lick for me. I play that every time I perform this tune. Darn, there's the spoiler. So if you come hear my band, you'll hear me do that lick because I figured it out. It was my favorite of the things I figured out on that day, and I just remembered what it was and kept doing it. You're welcome to borrow any of mine. You can go back and transcribe exactly what I did. I'm not sure in this moment exactly what I did each of those 4 times because I was sort of ad-libbing. But anything I liked, anything you liked that I did, please feel free to steal and make your own. Okay, so that's a great place to put an extra quad there in the turnaround. Where else could we put them? Let's find out. That was the same place. I did that one on the end, right? Rather than I did. Let's try that. Again. I'm kind of stealing from part 2 there, aren't I? Poor ending that was so bereft of extra cool things. Well, we can fix it. It's a great fix. How about in the B section? Well, okay, so that's the only thing that's actually different, isn't it? The part 1. Now, this is my dilemma. We could, or we could do it. But if we do that, we lose the dorkiest part of the tune. That there are lots of ways to replace any of those pas with yakatakas, right? 2/8 notes become 4/16. You add the quad, it gets fancier, cool. But this is a moment where I really think just because I can doesn't mean I should. And I personally love that dorky part 1 so much. I have never once in performance, or when I'm just playing the tune by myself, never once have I been led to 16th noticize the beginning of that B section. The only thing that's actually different from the A. I just love the door key so much, so I don't touch it. But maybe you feel differently. It's your version of this tune. It's a very old tune. People have messed around with it for, decades, centuries even, probably. So mess around with it and see if you find something that you like. I personally will always leave that part 1 of the B section alone, and then I will do extra stuff on the part 2 and the ending, the material that we already figured out for the A section, but I'll do it a little differently each time. Okay, so that's my personal approach, but this idea of playing with putting in quads, this is the ornamental thing that you do in polkas when you really want to make them extra cute. So let's finish by putting all of this together, combining the drone double stops and any additional quads, which go especially great on part 2s and endings. Gosh, good thing they're the same in both sections. Not a lot to figure out. Let's play kind of a medium tempo. We'll go through the whole tune, 2 A's and then 2 B's. And I'm gonna ad-lib stuff. You're gonna ad-lib stuff. We may or may not match, that's okay. And if you want to go back on the video and analyze what I ad-libbed, anything that you like, you may do that and steal it with my blessing. All right, here we go. The Cuil. We'll go about ba ba da da dum and 1 and 2 and off we go. Let's go again, ad-lib. So that's the whole tune. Hopefully you've got a couple ideas that you'd like to borrow or steal, or better yet, found some of your own that you want to borrow, steal, copy, remember, do again for yourself. But yeah, it's just a really fun little tune, and it's a wonderful playground for playing with these polkas ideas. Find the offbeats, emphasize them with little double stops, and throw in just a couple little quads. You don't need very many to be very effective with this sort of thing. So hopefully it's fun for this tune, and you can go throw it in any other polkas that you like. There are plenty of dorky polkas out there that are just waiting for nice offbeats, nice drones, and some cutesy little quads. So lots of toys to play with. As always, if you would like to see sheet music for this or any future tunes of the month, I'm not sure why you'd need it for a tune this simple, but if it's helpful to you and you'd like to get it from me personally as opposed to somewhere else on the internet, make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter. Go to my website, www.mariblack.com, and sign up for the email newsletter. Once a month, you'll hear from me, a little hello to all my musical friends out there. And the special thing that I do just for email subscribers, my handwritten version of the current tune of the month will arrive in your inbox. So if you're already subscribed to the newsletter, you already have Kool-Aid hanging out in your inbox ready for you. And if you're in the future and you subscribe, you'll have future tunes of the month arriving as well. All right, you guys, I hope that's fun. I will look forward to seeing you back here next month for, you guessed it, more tunes. Have fun.